Welcome back guys, this is Shrikant. Today we are going to talk about subquery. Subquery is very important to understand, to know when we start the database programming, correct? Perfect. Now let's start with the subject. What is subquery? Name itself suggests that it's a sub kind of thing. It's a sub kind of query. So query inside a query is called as a subquery, right? That's very simple. So you would have a main query, and in that query you will use another query. Correct. That is what we call as a subquery. Perfect. Once we'll understand the subquery, then we'll talk about correlated subquery. But to understand the correlated subquery, or to understand the difference between correlated subquery, first we need to understand the subquery. Correct. So what is subquery? Once again, subquery is a query which is inside a main query. Perfect. So to demonstrate this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create two tables. The first table, which would be student table. So let's create one dummy database. Create database demo December 09 2023. This is just a sample database I'm creating for the demonstration. Then the database has been created. Now just go inside that spec to database. Perfect. Now in this database we are going to create two tables. The first table is called as student table. In the student table, I'm having a column called as ID, which basically has the identity column, that's auto increment. Then each student have their own name. You can say it's a varchar of 500. Then I'm going to store one more ID information. That's basically depth ID. I will talk about that depth ID, which will be having a data type as a int. So this is the structure for my one of the table. Then I'm going to create another table called as a department. Here we have the column called as the ID, which has basically the identity value 1 comma 1. Then we have the department name. Here you can say it's a name. Again it would be varchar of, let's say, 500. Okay, now just create this table. We created the first table called as a depth. We are going to create another table called as a student. Let's add some data in the first table. So I'm going to write insert statement here, insert into depth. Here I'm going to pass the values. So I'm having my first department as IT. I'm also having my another department, let's say EXTC. So these are the two row I have, and just run it by just selecting this one. So you would get two rows. So it's just showing me error. Okay, that's fine, just run it. Right, now just run this one. Two rows loaded. Perfect. Now I'm going to add some entry in the student table. Please try to understand the concept and how I'm going to create this table, and I'm going to load the data. So again, load some data in the student table. I'm going to add data. So first I just need to pass here the name, because I don't need to pass the ID, because that is the identity one which will be auto generated. Then this department ID, I'm not creating it more complicating by making some relationship, just to show you the demonstration. So this is the simple schema, and this is, I'm going to write an insert statement. So here my first student is ABC, and the department ID is 1. Then I'm having another student whose name is XYZ, and his department ID is 2. I'm also going to add one more entry in my department table just to have three department. That's a CS. So what will I do? I'll simply just copy this and I'll simply write CS here and just load one more entry. So the three department will be created and I'm going to run this command now with student. So two student will be loaded in the table. Now just try to see the data inside the table. So if I'm querying on the department table, I would see three record. Let me see that. Correct. I can see one with the ID, I can see two with the XTC and three with the CS. Another table I do have is a student, and let me run that and see what data we have. So I can see there how many rows. I can see there two rows because we loaded data only for the two. Now to understand the subquery, my requirement is to demonstrate that I just want to find out for each department, or if you just want to know how many department are there in a school, then how you can find it out. So from the student table, this might not be more relevant, but just try. See, if I try to write like this, I would get all student. Correct. My requirement is I just want to know all the list of all the count of department. So what will I do? I will just take this query, select start from department, then I will just pass a comma and give some bracket inside that to make it more realistic, and I would write like number of department, number of dep in the college, in the college or the school where. This is not, this is not respective to any student. Okay, so if I run this one, I would get error. The requirement is basically very simple. I want to show basically all the student along with all the department in the college. So if I write like this, I would get error. So what my requirement should be, I need to use count here. So I will use count of star from the department. This will give me a one single value, and what will it represent? It will represent number of department in the college. Just run it. Now in the outcome we will see all list of information. So I got the student information, but if you can observe carefully number of department in the college, the value I am seeing is 3. This 3, right? So every time, sometime we have a requirement to bring, we need to bring some kind of unique information that we will use in the reporting in to show some kind of static data or some master data. So we need to bring that one. So let me revalidate my statement. What did I say? I said a subquery is a query which is basically inside a query. So this is my main query. If you can understand, this is my main query, and this is another query. If you can observe carefully, this is another query, and this query inside my main query. That is what we call as a subquery. Maybe this data doesn't make any sense to you, but the concept should be like this: a query inside a main query is called as a subquery, and this is as it is, right? So hope you understood that what is basically the subquery in this demonstration. If you have any question, or if you feel that you also need one more example, please let me know in the comment section. I will love to help. I will love to create another video, and thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.